Welcome to hashtag 4th Art Saturday Video Hop, hosted by the Meri Atelier YouTube channel. All links are listed down below. Please, after watching this video, be sure to hop to the next channel, and the hop list is listed down below to visit all the other amazing artists. So, right now I am painting a background with digital palette knife painting, and if you look closely, I am creating a textured background that replicates very nicely real palette knife painting. So this will be my background for my bouquet of palette knife roses. So I'd like to give a shout out to Alaina Jensen, and I will link her website and her YouTube channel down below in the description box after the hoppers list, all the video hoppers, because she designs many collections of Procreate digital brushes throughout the year. And this is one she's designed. She has a collection called Painterly, which are digital brushes that replicate all kinds of real painting techniques and real kinds of painting, like acrylic painting, oil painting, watercolor painting, gouache painting, palette knife painting. So shout out to her. I'm using her Painterly brush set, and I'm using the palette knife, and she has a set that includes a variety of different palette knives. So, okay, so now I'm painting the stems and the leaves. And also shout out to her because I followed her tutorial for this. So that's on her website also. I mean, not her website, that's on her YouTube channel as well. So I started off with a grayish green mid-tone, and then now adding the darks. And then I will be adding the lights. And I made sure I put about 5 stems because odd numbers are pleasing to the eye. So no, that was three stems, but there's going to be five roses. So I really love painting I really love digital art, and these digital brushes are only made for Procreate. And Procreate is can only be used on the iPad, not any tablet, only iPad. And it was created about 10 years ago, and I have been using Procreate app on my iPad for 9 years. I taught it to myself during my long train commutes where I was commuting 3 to 4 hours a day by train for the last 7 years of my career, when I had to move further away from my job and had long train commutes, and spent my time doing many different things on the train, including lots of iPad digital art. So here, that was a pretty fast time lapse right there of painting all the petals. So started off with the mid-tone reds, then now going in the centers of the roses with a lighter red. Then in the very center, using pretty much a red violet, just tiny little thin strokes of red violet. Going back in with midtones, kind of going back and forth between light, medium, darks, and seeing what the painting needs. it's not a matter of, oh, you only paint the lights once and you only paint the midtones once and you only paint the darks once. I know other artists that work like this too. It's a matter of constantly kind of going back and forth, light, medium, darks, light, medium, darks, light, medium, darks. And even though this is not acrylic paint, especially with acrylic paint, because acrylic paints dry darker, so you're constantly having to go back in and adjust your highlights, especially with acrylic paints. But that's a side point. Because with digital art, I don't think there's nothing. When you print this out, I do wonder if when you're printing these out, I think they pretty much print true to color. But that's a whole nother video explaining about how to print out your digital art. And right there, if you wanted to stop and pause and turn and scroll back a little bit, you could have seen that drop down just showed all the different palette knives that were available. So now going in with the edges and kind of softening up the edges with white, with off-white, to give it that more loose, messy effect. And I'm trying to see where that is right there. There I am, switching back to the streaky palette knife. There's different palette knives that there are in this set, and mostly for this whole painting I'm using what's called the streaky palette knife. But let's see, yes, now I'm going in with some light, some pretty much pink, light medium pink, and going back into the center to mimic the tops of the petals, the edges of the petals. And still continuing to do that, like a round, circular kind of round, not straight lines, but little round lines to mimic the round petal shapes. Like the tips of the tops of the petals to give them extra little highlights. And just doing some finishing touches here. And this effect is just meant to be loose and messy. It's like the loose, messy effect and style that you often will see in palette knife paintings, especially with florals. Going in with some darks, going back, switching to darks now, putting a few darks in the centers, and now loosening up, softening up the edges of some of the leaves. Not every leaf, but just a few of them. Softening them up and making them look more painterly. And I believe I also go in and add like just a few midtones and darks. Basically, I'm just trying to get the right effect of the softening up of the leaf edges. Okay, trying to see what I'm doing there, and oh yeah, adding a few more darks, darkest darks in the center. And I hope you enjoyed this, and please hop to the next channel in this video hop. Link down below in the description box.